So at the end of August, the DEA announced that they were going to be putting this substance called Kratom on the Schedule 1 list. Um, the Schedule 1 list is the same list that has heroin, cocaine, meth, all these really hard drugs that definitely damage people and can easily kill people. However, that list also has marijuana and acid, which have never um, caused any deaths by themselves to anybody. So um, you can already tell that they have a record of not really knowing what they're doing, and they're just putting it on the list because they heard that it's something that people are using, um, and they don't want that. That's one thing. They might just not care. Um, but the other thing is that possibly some big pharma companies have paid to get this substance illegalized. And the reason why they would be doing this is because Kratom is a safer alternative to opiates. And a lot of people who are addicted to opiates use Kratom to get off of opiates because it eliminates the withdrawal symptoms. And then when you're on Kratom and you're just doing Kratom and you want to go off of Kratom, if you're not doing a whole lot, you're going to almost have no withdrawal symptoms going off of that. Um, Besides the obvious um, symptoms of, drug use, if you're abusing it at all, like lower dopamine levels and serotonin levels in your brain and stuff. But what I'm trying to say is Kratom is not as dangerous as all these other drugs, like the alternatives, like what the pharma companies are producing are, strong opiates like Oxy, which is not an extremely strong opiate, but even stronger opiates they're giving people in hospitals. I even have that story on my channel where I got fentanyl. If you look at the scale on Wikipedia, I'm not exactly sure what the scale is, and Kratom's not on the scale, but that drug they gave me, fentanyl, is stronger than the originally synthesized heroin. It's one of the strongest opiates that people use. Of course, they didn't give me very much, but I'm just saying they gave me that, and it's one of the most addictive too because it's so strong, but it wears off in only an hour or two, which is just ridiculous. I mean, they've got to know that that's something that will get people addicted. Because they could take it off just as easily because they give smaller doses anyway, equivalent doses pretty much. And these are all these bad drugs that are killing people when people could take Kratom and it would be much better. My mom took Kratom for pain in her back, and she said, and she's had painkillers before for her back pain, and she said that Kratom works better for her for the pain. I'm not entirely sure about that, but if it works that well, at least, I mean, why would they be doing this? Not only that, but like I said earlier, it hasn't killed anybody. There are people who have died with it in their symptoms, but nothing concludes that Kratom is the substance that has caused somebody to die. And I think they claimed that they wanted to put it on the Schedule 1 list so they could test it, but the problem with that is that it's going to become illegal and they're not going to be able to get any to test it. I mean, we've seen the same thing happen with marijuana and LSD too. Even though they've conducted tests before, they're very small tests because they're illegal and you can't get them and it's illegal to test them. I can hardly think of any negatives to having this drug legal. It doesn't kill anybody. It's a safer alternative to opiates. The only thing that could be a problem is someone who tries Kratom starts liking it a lot. They're taking it and they're not feeling as much as they used to, and so they go to opiates to get stronger highs. And that is one definitely possible thing. But the problem is, with them illegalizing this, all these people that do a lot of Kratom are going to go to opiates. And they might not have done that if it wasn't illegal. I mean, if it was legal, they might not do that. I mean, they haven't done it so far. All these Kratom users, specifically Kratom users, who are either ex-opiate addicts or, they've never used opiates before and they don't want to. But these people are going to get off it and they're going to miss the feeling, and then they're going to get opiates to fill the feeling, and they're going to turn into addicts, and there are going to be deaths caused because of this change. I don't think this is ever going to reach the U.S. government, but if it does reach anybody who works for the government, think on that.